Check the mic and make sure it sound right.
Look at that monster.
Yeah, he's coming.
That is just incredible.
Hi, I'm DK Will, and this is DK Will Talk About It. Yeah, a train getting started and getting off to a running start is a nice thing to watch. It's nice that they follow a schedule and you can actually plan on when some of them will take off. And as you can see, it was an exhilarating experience for the spectators there to watch that train take off. And if you're into trains, I'm sure you probably enjoyed that intro clip. But I did a video a few days ago, on the 19th to be specific, and that video was, excuse me a minute, that video was entitled, bear with me, that's my mug, right here. It's better to be 1 minute early than 1 second too late. And I made some comments in that video that I'm going to play, just 2 clips maybe out of that video for this video. But the reason I'm showing it is because the video I did after it, I did the title regarding the SEC dropping the case against Garlinghouse and Larson. I said, forget the train, board the spaceship. Well, right now we're still dealing with a train, and I'm sure you've noticed that the price of Bitcoin has gone up as anticipated. Because when I did that video, we were right here on the 19th, about $28,000. It's gone as high as almost $35,000, $36,000 in the span of only 4 days. And in that video, I talked about the excitement in my voice and wanting to get people to get on board before the train takes off. I'm going to touch on that a little bit more, but you can see here that, like I mentioned in the video, when Bitcoin takes off, it acts like a draft, and it pulls other things up with it. And so the next biggest one is Ethereum, and Ethereum, here's where they were on the 19th, and this is where they've gone to. And then I'm not, I can't go through every crypto out there, but if you look at the charts, and I'll probably show it to you here in a moment, but if you look at the charts, you can see here was XRP on the 19th, down here in the red section, but look what happened, okay? And then, of course, we'll do one more. We'll go with Stellar on the 7-day. And you can see here, Stellar on the 19th was right about here. And look where they are now. 4 days ago, I did that video. Let's listen into that video and get a reminder here. The same man who said 4, 5, 6 years ago that crypto was laundering money and bad and oh, nobody's interested. Now he's out there touting crypto. Folks, can you see what is happening? If you have been following this channel and you have been taking advantage of it and you have changed your paradigm and you have mellowed out to where you don't let yourself get caught in the narratives, you don't panic over spikes and ups and down spikes of a daily nature, and you have a long-term big picture view, your day is coming soon. If you haven't jumped on, it's time to jump on. That's the reason for the more than average excitement in my voice. Well, there's been passion in my voice, but there's excitement in my voice now for this reason. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink seeing client demand for crypto around the world. Did you just hear that? This is a two-day article. BlackRock, the largest money managing outfit on the globe, sees client demand for crypto around the world. Some of my videos talked about supply and demand. Most of us know about supply and demand. When the demand goes up, the price goes up. When the demand goes up, the price goes up. Also, the fear and greed index has gone up from being around 54 to 67 in that same 4 days. But I mentioned how Bitcoin can be a draft, and if you can look to the far right over the last 7 days, that's what we were looking at before on those charts. The last 7 days, notice the particular common theme in all of them being pulled up by Bitcoin. Some of them almost imitating the same chart as Bitcoin or very close to it. Some break off, but notice all that green. This is a stable coin Tether. If you're familiar with it, you know it. It lingers around $1 no matter what. But you can see there, look at this pattern. Look at the draft of Bitcoin pulling things up, another stable coin. Can you see it? So in other words, folks, the train has taken off. The train has taken off, but not the spaceship. And so, in harmony with that passion from before, where I'm hoping to help people get past their trepidations, get past their trepidations over crypto and getting your crypto wallets and getting your crypto accounts on the particular exchanges and things of that nature and getting your money in crypto, like what did Fink call it from BlackRock, the flight to safety. Yeah, I did a symposium on that. You can look back in my chain of videos and see the symposium. But see, here it comes, folks. Now, at the same time, though, keep in mind, this is not the lottery. This is not buy today and check tonight to see if you won. This is investing. And the thing about investing, as you can see those charts, they very rarely stay flat. Even the stable coins don't stay flat. But particularly, they have spikes. And the more you look at the time frames, the more the spikes come and go. And so why is that important? Well, let's go back to our analogy of the train. Once a train gets moving, if you can board a train early when it gets moving, like you saw that steam engine taking off, but even after a train has taken off, if you can time it right, there's still an opportunity for you to get on that train. And as you can see here, this rush hour, commuting rush hour in India, some people are jumping on the train even though the train is already moving. And so, even though this train has begun moving, it's not too late. Now, too late will soon come. But as long as this train is moving at a pace where you can get on board, you need to get on board. Because the opportunity will not last forever. But when that door opens for your opportunity to get on that train, you probably should take it. Just like these folks here are taking that opportunity. And that opportunity is these spikes. For instance, if you look at the daily on Bitcoin, you see that it goes up and it comes back down. It goes up and it comes back down. Very rarely is there a plateau. There's usually spikes. And in the video, I made the point where you're not going to jump over dollars and pick up pennies, right? So it doesn't really matter in the sense of trying to get on board before it becomes a spaceship. But as long as it's a train, see here, picking up speed. As long as it's a train, these are opportunities that still exist to get on this train. And that pattern is not uncommon. You can see here's XRP on the 7-day. Here's XRP on the daily. Same thing. And so whether you get on the train at this point or that point, that's going to be up to you. And the reason you're in that position in the first place is because you didn't get on back here when things are slow, barely moving, already in your seat. And so that takes me to another thought. Where do you think we are in this psychology of the market cycle? Now that this train has become moving, now that we're out of the red over here, and we've gone up here, we've gotten a little hope right here, and these spikes here are opportunities to get on board. Do you think we're here? Or do you still think we're down here, where there's anger and dismay and depression and disbelief? Do you think this is a disbelief? This is a suckers rally? Let me touch on that. It very well could be a suckers rally, but that still provides an opportunity for those who haven't gotten on to get on, for those who are on to stay on. Because eventually we're going to get to the optimism stage, and then that train's going to start be moving too fast to where that train turns into a spaceship, and you ain't going to be able to get on it anyway. And so this is where the psychology of the market comes in, because you can bet your bottom bippy that they are going to attempt to bring you in. They've already put the flagship Bitcoin in your face to draw in the masses. So they're going to draw in the masses. They're going to spend their money and push the price up is what is happening. But remember, I said it never goes plateau. It spikes. So, yeah, it's going to go up, but then it's going to come down. Because, see, they have to discourage those who aren't benefiting from DK. We'll talk about it. And channels like this. That you do not fall subject to the psychology of the market. Because we're still down here somewhere, folks, where you can get on this train. This train has not become a bullet train yet. And this train has not become a spaceship yet. So while this train is moving slow enough for you to get on board at a convenient price where you're at less risk of harm to yourself, excuse me, maybe it's time to get on board. You see, because you don't want to be like the individual here in the striped shirt. This fella got on board, but the striped shirt, see, he hesitated. He hesitated. And he wasn't able to get on board. That's the first risk of the indecisiveness, the disbelief. There's another risk too. And that other risk is that this train gets to moving. And it becomes riskier and riskier for you to get on board. And then as that train picks up speed, you may find yourself unable to grab hold and get on board no matter what. Why?
Yeah.
Because just as you've seen on the charts, that train has become a bullet. And you missed the train. Will you take a risk jumping on board at that point? Then you have fallen subject to the psychology of the market. And I don't want a single one of my viewers or subscribers. And if you like what I do, please like, please subscribe, please comment, please share, and so on and so forth. I don't want you to be a victim of the psychology of the market. You see, because if you try to jump on that moving train, that bullet train, you're going to crash and burn. You're going to get hurt because that train's going to be moving too fast for you. And it's not time to try to jump on that train. But that time has not come yet, so here I am again. And I want to remind you that on my website, there are links that you can use for Uphold, for Coinbase, for Gemini. You can use those links, and I hope that you do, because you get a little something for it, and so do I. Not much, but something. You get a little Bitcoin, and that's going to come in handy later. But I want you to listen again to another part of that video that I did that you don't want to be even 1 second too late. Because this baby's about to turn into a spaceship. And yeah, it's going to take a dive, perhaps, like I said, just little dips. It has to do that to test the market. But once you're on this train, you hold on to your seat until it either becomes the bullet train that you want to onboard at your stop, or it turns into the rocket that you want to onboard when it gets to the moon. You got to set your own prices. But to see how timely the advice was then, it may help you see how timely this advice is now. It's friendly advice. It's not financial advice, because I'm not a financial advisor officially. But nonetheless, listen to what I said in the prior video in hopes of you really listening to this video, taking advantage of the links, going and get your account set up, buying in while the train is still moving slow enough to get on board. Folks, this baby's about to kick off. And I'm going to do a better video than this after this. And it did kick off. But I needed to do this. Because if now the prices are so low right now, now is the time before it's too late. I can remember the passion of talking to many in a group that I'm a part of, talking about XRP when they were, and I've said this in other videos and I'm going to say it again. And they were bickering over whether it was 22 cents or 25 cents. They were going to wait, and then it went to 27 cents back down to 17 cents. This is how I describe that, folks. That's jumping over dollars to pick up pennies. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't jump over dollars to pick up pennies. This train is moving slow enough to get on board. It's going to start moving too fast. Let's continue listening.
Why? Because if you get XRP today for 48 cents, instead of saying, well, I heard it's going to go down to 30 cents. Let's say it doesn't go down to 30 cents. So you're bickering over 48 cents, or we'll say 45 cents or whatever.
That was 4 days ago. This is now.
You're bickering over that, and then it blows up and it's $17. When it becomes $17, the only thing that's going to matter is, do you have it or don't you? You're not going to care if you spent 48 cents. You're not going to care if you spent 40 cents. You're not going to care if you spent 30 cents. You're not going to even care if you spent 50 cents for it if it went to $17. Now, I'm just throwing that number out there as 17, but do I think it's a reasonable expectation? Yes, I do. But here's the other part about it. You won't even care if it goes to $3. You won't even care if it breaks its all-time high and goes to $4. If you got it for 30, 40, 50, 60 cents, you're not going to care. So what's the point? The point is get it. Because it's better to be 1 minute early than 1 second too late.
And too late this time might crack that 60 cents. Use the links, folks. This isn't going to be an opportunity forever. Because eventually, it's going to change from a train to a rocket to a spaceship to a point where you cannot get on board. And the reason you won't be able to get on board is because the rocket will have lifted off. And unless you're the Incredible Hulk that can jump a mile into the sky,
Stage
you
1
won't be
chamber
jumping
pressure is
on.
nominal.
Folks, the time has come to make a decision. Are you going to get on the train? Or are you going to stand back and watch the rocket as it takes its super fast trip all the way
T plus 45 seconds
to the moon?
into liftoff.
And it can happen as fast as 45 seconds. I'm DK Will. This is DK Will Talk About It. And I've talked about it. Have a wonderful day.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.